Hi there BookTube, it's Eleanor here, and today I want to talk about some of my anticipated reads for January and February of 2020. So these are the books that are currently sitting in my pre-orders and that hopefully shall be coming in for me to read over the next few months. I did a similar one to this last year, read them and did a review video on them. So let's see if I can fare any better in my anticipated for the beginning of this year. There is 11 books, so let's go through them. The first one is Heartstopper Volume 3 by Alice Oseman. I've really been loving this graphic novel series. This is the third one, and we continue to follow our characters as their romantic journey unfolds. I don't want to say any more than that because I don't want to spoil it for people that are starting out on the journey. All I can say is that Heartstopper so far, both volumes 1 and 2, have been winners in my book. The next book is called Love Boat Taipei, and this is by Abigail Hing Wen. I've got my laptop open here, so that's what that glow is on my face, but it's just so that I can tell you a bit more about the books. So this one is about Eva Wong and her summer. She is expecting to go to this really strict educational program in Taiwan, but she ends up at a different place while she's there, a summer-long free-for-all, and this is about the characters that she meets there and what they might seem on the outside, but the secrets that they are harbouring about their lives. So it says here that Eva is working towards becoming a doctor but has a secret passion for dance. Ricky Wu is a Yale-bound child prodigy, bane of Eva's existence, whose perfection hides a secret. And boy-crazy, fashion-obsessed Sophie Ha turns out to have more to her than meets the eye, and so on. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Of course, I'm looking forward to Shauna Maguire's latest in her Wayward Children series, and this one is called Come Tumbling Down. This one takes us back to the school, back to Eleanor West, and this one has Jack in it, who is in need of help. The next one, which I'm very excited about, is called Scavenge the Stars by Tara Sim. This is a retelling of The Count of Monte Cristo. If you haven't seen my Count of Monte Cristo video, I did a review of that a few years ago, maybe even 4 years ago or 5 years ago now. I think it's the most watched video on my channel. I loved that book. I loved reading it. I loved everything about it. I just thought it was a really brilliant book, and so if this is a retelling and reimagining, I just can't wait. It's YA, it's the start of a duology, and it says it's perfect for fans of Sarah J Maas, Sabaa Tahir and Leigh Bardugo, so I think this one's definitely going to be one that I'm going to enjoy. Now the next one's called Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid. This one I just sort of happened upon actually when I was putting the others into my wish list. It says when Amira is apprehended at a supermarket for kidnapping the white child she's actually babysitting, it sets off an explosive chain of events. Her employer, Alex, a feminist blogger with the best of intentions, resolves to make things right. But Amira herself is aimless, broke and wary of Alex's desire to help. When a surprising connection emerges between the two women, it sends them on a crash course that will upend everything they think they know about themselves, each other and the messy dynamics of privilege. This just sounds like it's going to be really good. It's on all of these sort of newspapers and book magazine and recommendations as a book to watch out for, so that's definitely one that I'm going to be getting to at the beginning of the year. Followers by Megan Angelo sounds like a really interesting idea. It's to do with, it says when everyone is watching you can run but you can't hide. 2051, Marlo and her mother Floss have been handpicked to live their lives on camera in the closed community of Constellation. Unlike her mother, who adores the spotlight, Marlo hates having her every move judged by a national audience, but she isn't brave enough to escape until she discovers a shattering secret about her birth. Now she must unravel the truth about her own history in a terrifying race against time. I think this is looking at celebrity and celebrity culture, and I like this idea that it's set in the future as well, so yes, I think that's going to be a really good one. Tweet Cute by Emma Lord is one that I heard about on Chelsea Darling Reads channel. She's read this already and said it was amazing, and as soon as she said this needs to be on your list, I went straight over and put it on my list, and so it's on my list. From what I can gather, it's about two people, a boy and a girl, who run the Twitter for their family's restaurant businesses, and I think there is some sort of rivalry. They don't know maybe that the other one runs it. I think there's going to be romance, a bit of rivalry, something's going to happen, and there's going to be lots of sort of tweets, I think in there, maybe some multimedia, which sounds interesting, and Chelsea said it was really good, and I trust her recommendations in this genre, so I can't wait. The next one is Dear Edward by Anne Napolitano. This is about a plane, 191 passengers. They all but one, a 12-year-old boy called Edward, die in a plane crash, and this is following him and the sort of aftermath of that, but also through sort of told through the people on the plane. So we start to learn about the people on the plane and him making sense of this sort of survival guilt, I believe. Jane Anonymous by Laurie Faria Stollars sounds really thrilling, and in fact just reading the blurb for this makes me feel a bit chilled. It's about a girl, she's been kidnapped, she's been through an ordeal, she's managed to escape, she's back home, but obviously she doesn't feel the same, and she remembers things. She remembers other children being there when she was there. She's desperate to find out what's happened to them. She's pressurising the police to find out, and I think this is just going to be a really interesting and thrilling read, and definitely one that be sort of a high octane for me. Long Bright River by Liz Moore follows two sisters. This is set in Philadelphia when there is an opioid crisis. One of the sisters is an addict and walks the streets looking for her next fix. The other is a policewoman. These two sisters don't speak anymore, but then the one with the addiction goes missing, and her sister is determined to try and find out what's happened to her, and as this sort of disappearance has happened, this string of murders has started to happen, sort of occur, and she's desperate to save her sister before it's too late. So this looks like a really good thriller and interesting story. I really like Liz Moore, so yeah, I'm looking forward to getting to this one. I'm looking forward to all of them, but you know what I mean. And the final one is called American Dirt by Janine Cummings. This is the story of a woman. She lives in the Mexican city of, I think it's Acapulco, and then and she runs a bookstore. She's married to a journalist. She has a son who is everything to her, as is her husband. And then into her bookstore one day, there's this sort of cartel presence where she lives, but it's never really affected their lives. But into this bookstore one day comes the new head of the newest cartel, and I think her husband is releasing a tell-all book about this man, and when it is released, nothing will be the same again. When you look at the blurb, it says, yesterday Lydia had a bookshop. Yesterday Lydia was married to a journalist. Yesterday she was with everyone she loved most in the world. Today her 8-year-old son Luca is all she has left. For him she will carry a machete strapped to her leg. For him she will leap onto the roof of a high-speed train. For him she will find the strength to keep running. So it sends shivers down my spine, and it has been tipped as the grapes of wrath for our times, which is really sort of a high praise indeed. So yes, these all sound so excited. They're all pre-ordered. I can't wait to read them and share my thoughts with you. What do you think of these? Are there any that you're really looking forward to in the next few months that I haven't got on my list? Let me know in the comments down below, and let's chat as always, and I look forward to speaking to you soon. Bye for now, BookTube.